Hello and welcome back. We are going to be talking about the finale of not just the series that we've been watching, series 215 or 41, but also the entire Shooty Gatwa experiment, the RTD 2.0 era, if you will. And, well, to be honest, we'll be localizing it to this exact episode for the purposes of this review. In less than 3 hours, we'll be live again, because that's how time works against me, to talk about the entire show and a little bit of the legacy of it with the panel. But we're going to go ahead and get right into this. So, the reality war. What I was expecting was way different. I thought it was going to be like, oh, you're going to be flung from this reality to this reality. There's going to be umpteen different realities fighting. But then I remembered it's Doctor Who, not Marvel. And even Marvel hasn't done that yet. So I don't know why I keep having these expectations, but hey, it is what it is. The good news is, guys, that it's over. It's finally over. The Gatwa era is done. We are finally rid of that mincing, flouncing, narcissistic, arrogant, self-congratulatory, self-masturbatory wanker. At last, we are done. Skibbity skibbity, member for 1 month. Says it's like opera. And congratulations on being a member for a month. Appreciate you as a reactionaire. It is like opera. It's a little overblown. I mean, the whole thing is hammy as heck. Parts of it, I'm not going to lie to you, parts of it kind of worked for me because I was a child of the RTD1 era. And there's a certain amount of hamminess that that I'm willing to tolerate. Parts of this episode that kind of reminded me of the Last of the Time Lords, you know, the Master arc from the end of Series 3, but not as good, but some ways better. It's difficult to explain what I mean. I didn't hate it, and I also hate it. I really had a lot of difficult ambivalent feelings with this because I could tell I was being played the whole time and I didn't want to let it work, but a part of me kind of wanted to let it work. It's RTD bombast just to see if it could get me to feel something, and a few times it did, mostly localized around the children that are in this episode, and there's that. So we're gonna get into it, but guys, it's over. We're finally finished with this fucking 2-year nightmare. We are finally free. Let me see some love in the chat. We are done. The sojourn has ended. And we don't know where it will go from here. By the way, I think I've made it clear in these videos by now. There will be full spoilers from the start. I am going stream of consciousness. I am not going to structure this. I have some notes this time because I need them because it's a fucking hour-long episode and we got a lot to get through and we're not going to have time to do this in real time. We'll have more time on the show after this. Who TF cares? Show me some love. Show me some supers. We're going to get right into this bitch, okay? We're going to do it the same old way, by the book, good, bad, and unforgiving. You know, I'm calling it the unaccountable this time because I don't feel like there's... My feelings have not quite metastasized properly yet into what they will finally be. So this is a raw, untempered, unfiltered schism of my thoughts, feelings, responses, and emotions. And I hope that will work for you. So let's get into it. By the way, before we do, you may notice this thing is still here. I know, maybe you're getting tired of it by now. I'm certainly getting tired of it too. If you have anything and you feel like giving, go to this link It's pinned in the comment. Anything will be graciously accepted and much appreciated as we try to get my dad back on his feet. But there we are. I hate doing stuff like that, but I wouldn't be a good son if I didn't. So, rocking a hard place. You understand. Alright, the good. There's more good in this than I usually give to most episodes, and I'm being very generous because, again, RTD 1.0 era fan, he's done something in this episode that has reeked to me of simultaneously he's actually trying for once. He's actually trying, and yet it's also completely recycled. Ambivalence is the theme of this video. I guarantee you I'm going to be all over the place. So a lot of the superficial things were really quite good. Obviously the effects and stuff, the usual stuff, but there were plot beats and stuff that hit me. Like, it's not by accident that I'm referring to Last of the Time Lords as my kind of beat point for this. Scenes like activating fucking MagesGuild. MagesGuild is already here. It says, did you see the parallels to the end of time and Timeless Children? Yes, I did. And I also saw a lot of parallels to the Last of the Time Lords with the Master, because they were pulling at that once again. Instead, it was like, don't you want to join us? Don't you see what we can do together? Kind of, we're friends, you and me. And then there's the visual iconography of it, where it's like Unit Tower is weaponized, firing cannons. You've got instead of last time, you've got an actual war zone over London, which is RTD to the max, but not something he's relied on. Also, by the way, before I get out of the way, Ncuti Gatwa is the only doctor that I can think of who has never met a Dalek, a Cyberman, or the Master. The only one. Not one of those big three did he interact with in his entire run. Which is great, because we're going to have a lot to unpack in the Legacy, which will probably be mostly next week's episode of WTF, WhoTF Live, WhoTF Cares. But yeah, he says, it went so far as to rip lines from The End of Time with Go Back to Hell, yes, and it has sacrificial regeneration, yes, it is The End of Time. It is. It's very Eccleston-esque, actually, is what it really is. It's one of those ones where it's like, yes, he sacrificed himself, but it's also Eccleston-esque because he regenerates almost voluntarily. It involves the heart of the TARDIS. It's like RTD is playing his own greatest hits. But we'll get to all that soon. We're still on the good, and I have to finish this as quick as I can because we've got another stream in T-minus 240. So it had a lot of heart, but unfortunately that heart was pumped in like a fake crowd reaction at a wrestling show. Ncuti Gatwa's regeneration. Yes, that's right. You fucking asshole, dickhead, motherfuckers of the BBC. Everybody else as well involved. Hey ho, let's go. You are a bunch of fucking liars. You're a bunch of fucking liars. You've been lying to us for weeks and we fucking knew it. We knew it. For all your desperate attempts to felt us, to make us feel like we're lesser thans or try to insult us one way or the other, we knew it was coming, baby. Ncuti Gatwa has not been confirmed to have left the show. Bye-bye. Na-na-na-na. Na-na-na-na. Hey, hey, hey. Goodbye. MagesGuild for $5 says ripping off the Cartmel master plan. Oh yeah, right, yeah. And the Lumbara books, from whence the timeless child idea originated. Yes, this time the infertility. Yes, they totally stole that. And now it appears that the Time Lords are in fact as a result of the timeless children. Oh no, wait. It was the biological DNA explosion of the Time Lords that felted them. Now they're all sterile, basically. they can't have children. Which I know you're thinking, well, the Doctor has a daughter now, doesn't he? He has a granddaughter too. Blah, blah, blah. Oh boy, do I have some non-answers for you. So anyway, Shooty Gatwa's regeneration I'm counting it as good because I literally threw my arm up in the air and went, yeah, yeah, you know, you make me want to shout, come on, shout. You know, when Shooty Gatwa regenerated, because frankly, I hate him. So I was really enjoying that shit. I had a whale of a time at his regeneration until I saw who came out of it. She watched the last 3 minutes, says Claire Pruder, just to watch Shooty Gatwa go for $4.99. You absolute legend. Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. I don't blame anyone for that. And yeah, you know what? Fuck it. Full spoilers. Ahead of the time. You already know. You've already known. I'm sorry I couldn't react to this yesterday, but the bastards put it out 2 a.m. my time just to make sure that some absolute imbeciles would go and see this in the goddamn cinema. Some lisping poncy motherfuckers who want to come up with theories wanted to go to the cinema and actually fucking watch this piece of shit. Yeah, that woke me up too, baby. You better believe that. And, you know, the whole point is he's gone. And Billy Piper is the Doctor now. Except, very big caveat, it didn't say, and this is a very big deal, if you really are a fan. It always says, the Doctor played by, assistant played by, yada yada yada, and introducing yada yada as the Doctor. This episode did not do that. It said, and introducing Billy Piper. Nothing. That's all it said. Maybe we're going to finally be rid of Doctor Who. Maybe the only way they can continue the show is to stop with the Doctor character and try and create something new. I don't know. We're going to get to it. We're going to get to it. But before we do that, I hated Gatwa. I was celebrating when he did it. He is such a wanker. The soundtrack was pretty good. It was the first time I actually noticed it. I think I know what the Doctor's theme is now, finally, right before he left. Alright. Anyway, RTD, like I said, he tried on this one. It's way better than Empire of Death. That was him pulling out half the stops. This is him pulling out all the stops. He's using every last manipulative recycled trick he possibly can in the book. Some of them worked, some of them didn't. Overall, I'd say it's still Gatwa. It's still this era, so fuck this era. But it's probably the best one he's done in terms of like mechanics and actually trying to draw up that RTD energy that people were expecting from him. Like I said, it's reminiscent of the kind of bombast of The Last of the Time Lords and other episodes, End of Time and Parting of the Ways and the things like that. Though, to be honest, the themes are recycled. And it's really just a bunch of noise to distract you from some quite major writing issues. Millie was good. Millie was alright. She's always alright. She's pretty good. It was, you know, it was actually almost nice to see her and the Doctor reconnect. Because she sort of wanted it that much. I kind of like her as a character, so it was like, oh god, she finally got what she wanted. She met him again, you know. Here's something I bet no one else will point out. At some point, both Belinda Chandra and Millie Gibson are left holding a baby, and neither of them shirk at the responsibility. I know that sounds weird, but in this world of pro-abortion shit in everything, I actually like that. I thought it was funny because after Conrad is gone, and by the way, we'll get to that in the bad, but both of them are like, well, I have a baby, and I'm going to have to look after this baby. And particularly Belinda Chandra, as a character, refuses to let anything happen to little Poppy. And that resonated with me a lot. Obviously, I'm married, I have a child, and my wife is about to give birth to another one. So, you know, that's a me thing, maybe. But I liked it, you know. It's like, no matter what you try to do, because a lot of this episode was all about trying to felt trad values and stuff. Not a lot of it, really, but there was one condensed sequence that was about that. And then, yeah, that was nice. It was like, you can't avoid it, can you, Russell? At the end of the day, women want to hold babies, and babies want to be held by women. Deal with it, bro. I'd heard worse things about the plot. I'd heard a lot worse rumors about the plot. I'd heard that there were going to be, like, severely worse retcons to the lore. That didn't happen, and that was nice. Although, it might be a bad thing, because nothing in this got explained at all. Like, with science whatsoever. It just didn't happen. Anyway, let's get on then. So, the bad. The episode is far too long. Far too long. The plot is finished halfway through. Seriously, I'm not joking. You will see when we go through it in a minute. The bad guys are gone. Really quickly. One villain is gone. Then the other villain is gone. And then the other villain is gone. And then the final villain is gone. And that happens in the space of like 2 minutes. And when I paused the episode and I'm like, we're at halfway. What the fuck are they going to do with the rest of this episode? Well, it turns out it's going to be a big old one of these, you know? It's a self-congratulatory circle jerk. And there is some lore destruction. It's not really as brutal as it might have been. I had heard awful rumors about, like, retconning the origin of Susan and stuff like that. They can still do that, by the way. But, you know, it wasn't in this. Although I will point out that the absolute lack of any explanation of Susan is baffling. Like, Susan Foreman, not Susan Triad, she's in this too. Or Susan Twist or whatever. Whichever one it is. Susan Foreman is not in this episode at all. Not even for a second. Everyone else is in this episode. Everyone from the last 2 years is in this episode. At least once. Every major character. And I think that Murray Gold... Yeah, you're right there, Black Orc. Murray Gold earned his fucking money today because there were so many times that a scene would have fallen completely flat or would have been cringe as fuck if it weren't for the fact that Murray Gold was doing his damnedest to pull on your heartstrings with every musical trick in the book. But yeah, no explanation of Susan. That pissed me off. As did the fact that the 13th Doctor does indeed appear as a vision before or out of time, or that doesn't make sense. None of it makes sense. There's no reason for this. There's no time crash. There's no scientific reason. She's just in the TARDIS when he's about to regenerate. And you get to see the unholy duology of the 13th and 15th Doctors. And at one point, Gatwa even says when she shows up, he's like, oh, thank God it's not the other guy. He never stops showing up. That obviously means Tennant. And then there's Billy Piper. So, yes, the rumors are true. Everything you've heard is true. When he is done regenerating, the last thing you see is Billy Piper, who turns straight to the camera, once again, so he had nothing to do with Mrs. Flood, by the way, and goes, oh, hello. And it's kind of charming, because Billy Piper is charming. But you know why I don't like this? It's pure manipulation. This is RTD's final gambit. Take a woman who represents a character that we all really like and make her the Doctor so that we can't complain anymore. Well, I think you're going to have to figure out by yourself. I think you're going to have to figure out by yourself whether or not you're willing to fight the show if it continues with Billy Piper as the Doctor. I am. But hey, that's me. All right, that's it. We're into the unaccountable. We're going to get into this. We're going to run the intro and we are going to go. Okay, here we go. So we're into the unaccountable. Because again, this... Right, there was no explanation of bi-generation. A lot of people were saying that the Rani would take responsibility for bi-generation. I don't remember that actually being stated in the episode. But I am coming straight from watching it to reviewing it. Because I just don't have time anymore. Alright, so we begin. It's just a recap, so credits are running. There's a lot of Deus Ex Machina in this episode. Did I count the number of men with agency? No, but now that I think about it, Gatwa doesn't count. So women, innit? All of them. Everyone important is a woman. Yep. Not a single worthwhile man in the entire episode. Yep. Good point, and thank you for the nudge. So, Gatwa is falling as he was at the end of the last episode when suddenly, and apparently I've managed to skip it already, a mystical door opens and it's Anita. Now, I'm going to tell you this, and I'm going to tell you this straight out of the gate. I liked Anita in the Christmas episode. I really like Anita. She's basically the only thing I really like wholeheartedly throughout this entire run. And I still like her. She is still humble as fuck, even though she is now the manager of the Time Hotel. So, the Christmas episode, fully canon by the way, which is an RTD thing. Moffat used to just do these wad fairy tale bullshit things, but at least RTD used to make them canon. So the Time Hotel shows up. Somehow she knows. It turns out she has the house key because she's the manager, which means she can open a door anywhere at any time. No need to follow the rules of the Christmas episode anymore. Yeah, I'm going live for WTF. Yeah, it's happening. I'm just going to have to be fucking quick with this, which is going to be very, very difficult because it's an hour-long episode. At the same time, Ruby Sunday wakes up. I think there's something else involved. She's what the fuck is happening here? Oh yeah, it strikes midnight. That's right. The clock strikes midnight, so it's time to reset the day. Ruby Sunday wakes up. Her mom's yelling at her. Belinda Chandra wakes up, but this time the doctor's not there because he is in the Time Hotel. And it turns out, as soon as you get out of the Wish World into real time again, i.e. the Time Hotel here, which still operates in real time, and is having some major hiccups with the constant recycling of May the 23rd. He remembers, like total Deus Ex Machina, by the way, cheap shot shit. He remembers his entire life as the Doctor and everything that he couldn't quite remember at the last episode. Also, Anita appears to be pregnant. She is at least 6 months pregnant, I'd say that. Maybe 4 or 5 months pregnant, maybe. No, probably more like 6. Maybe 6 months pregnant, probably. So, as demonstrated by this, she can actually open a door anytime, anywhere. It doesn't matter. She's got the rank to do it now, which is great, actually. I'm glad she had a happy ending, and shout out to Problematic White Guy, who never let go of Anita as a character. I'm glad she got this and didn't turn out to be Mrs. Flood or something stupid like that. He remembers her, and she's pissed off because it doesn't work. The Time Hotel's not working because they can't visit Earth because it keeps ending in 2025. She tries to help him. Then she tells this story about how she went looking for him throughout time, and then one time, well, you can't see it, but basically if you look at the mini picture above Dad of the Fans, you'll see that one day she opened the door to witness really an unbelievably long sequence of the Doctor dancing with the fucking rogue in that episode, shot for shot exactly as we saw it, and she gets a bit sad and closes the door. And then she admits she ran straight from that, because apparently she was in love with the doctor. She ran straight to a guy called Ricardo who knocked her up. So deal with that as you like. She's having a baby though. That's one woman who is now pregnant with a baby. Okay. Now they are really getting pissed off because he managed to have a magic door, but they've got an override. They've got a way out of it. Whatever, it doesn't matter anyway. They're going to go ahead and they're going to resurrect Omega, a Lord and Master. She says, no one's my Lord and Master. Anita brings Doctor back home, where Belinda is still trapped in the dream. So, long story short, oh, wait, no, I forgot about this. So there's this sequence here. He walks slowly down the stairs. It's like, dum, dum, da, da, dum, da, da, dum. Music's coming in like, bum, ba, ba, bum, ba, ba. And I turned to my dad and I said to him, are we finally going to get a doctor? Is he finally gonna be the doctor? And the dun da da dun da da dun da da da. Fuck it, let's play it. He comes down the stairs and he lets go of his fucking suit jacket. And as he turns, we cut. And now he's in a skirt. That's right. He's finally broken his Wish World programming and wearing what he wants to. And you're going to get a lot of that in the first sort of 10, fucking 11, 12, 15, 20 minutes of that. Basically, everyone manages to break their programming over the next few minutes. Doctor takes them out of the house, brings them to the Time Hotel. They regain their memories. They realize that Poppy is not their daughter, but maybe she is. We'll find out. They had a baby in a single day. They're still blurred between realities. It's a whole bunch of bullshit. They go back here and out comes the Doctor from into unit, which is still stuck in the 1950s Conrad Clark reality. She says, that would be Kate Lethbridge Stewart. She says, what the hell do you think you're wearing, Doctor? And he says, the future! Ladies and gentlemen, men in dresses. It's the future. You like that? You happy with that? If this is the future, give me a time machine, please. Anyway, obviously it's not the real future. It's the future of the diegetic reality of Doctor Who, but it's not the future of the real world. And if it was, then this show would be doing a lot better. But it's not. Anyway, he breaks everyone back out. Oh, yeah, there's a cute little scene here. No, it's not cute at all. Oh, God, it's awful, actually. There's this ridiculous little scene where this empty chair, brace for impact. Wait for it. I have to keep pausing. I'm sorry, but I have to because the BBC will felt this fucking show if I don't. And suddenly it's Rose Noble! Ladies and gentlemen, it's Jason Rose Noble. Because, and the line is in here, Conrad couldn't imagine you. He couldn't possibly imagine you in his reality. A trans 15-year-old who now looks 24 with probably a bigger chin than Gatwa's. Seriously, what is this? It's been like 3 years we had to look at this fucking person's face, man. You a dude. You're never not gonna be a dude. And canonically a 15-year-old boy. Fucking nonsense. Cuckoo. Hello. Are you there? All the while, by the way, we're probably going to miss a lot of this. They downplay Anita to fuck, which pisses me off a bit because she's the key to all of this. If that had not happened, the world was fucked. If Anita had not shown up, if she didn't have a doorway to normal time to keep pumping it out, to keep them snapped out of the dream, it doesn't happen. They say it multiple times. She is the MVP of the episode, and every time the camera turns to her, she says, oh, I'm just in the hotel, and I just work in hospitality. I'm just a hotelier. Anita, you are literally the key to everything. Then he introduces his daughter, ladies and gentlemen. The doctor has a little girl, and yeah, everyone's going crazy. Oh, you had a daughter. You had a daughter. And then actually, I think Kate says, well, now I know you're lying. Because she's obviously... Excuse me, I'm hiccuping as fuck. She's clocked him as obviously a massive. So then she activates some chips in people's necks, and this chick comes back, and Mel wakes up, and Ruby wakes up, and everybody wakes up, and they're all back to the races. Everybody's unplugged now. Oh, and then you get this weird little simpy MILF scene with the Rani, where Captain Conrad, the ultimate capitalist, far-right, alt-right, reactionary YouTuber, who is now completely and totally cucked by this woman, by the way. Completely. Oh, yes, by the way, that's right. Good, Mudcrab. Yes, I said to my dad, I said, hey, Dad, remember, in this reality, the good guys are the ones who dress in the opposite sex's clothing and put chips in people's necks. And the bad guys are the ones who settle down, get married, and have children. Thank you for reminding me. Good God. So anyway, he simps for the Master, Mr. Morani, the entire time, and she treats him like dirt. And he takes it. Totally takes it. No issue. Nothing. Ruby runs in and she goes, oh my God, it's the doctor, and they have a little emotional reunion, which is actually kind of nice. I like Ruby Sunday enough that I'm glad for her that she finally got to see the doctor again, even though I hate this fucking doctor. Then Mel comes back, and now we've got Mel, and Mel goes, oh fucking hell yeah, it's another woke line. She gets off the bike. I'm trying to find it, but I don't think I can in time. She gets off the bike. No, too late. By the way, Kate has changed back into a pantsuit. That's it. Mel goes, I have been a housewife. And she's like disgusted by that notion. Also, she has a Olivia Newton-John perm going on for some reason. Don't know why. Whatever. Who cares? She still hasn't found the one that she wants. So now, for a brief period in this episode, we get to see Ncuti Gatwa actually behaving like the Doctor. Where he actually explains the plot and tells everybody what to do, and they actually all fucking do it. So it turns out he explains what the Rani is, he explains all that stuff, he explains that Poppy is made of wishes and dreams and magic and shit. And then the alarm goes off and the Rani shows up, and she basically explains that her whole plan is to use Omega's DNA to dictate a way to create a new Gallifrey. She talks smack at Mel. Mel talks smack back. No one cares. Doesn't really matter. Mel pretends that she's never thought about her for a day in her life, but that's obviously not true. Then you get this bit here, and I bet my old man that we would never get an explanation for this. The Rani, how did she survive the genetic explosion of the Time Lords? Well, she says, you can't see it, but I can. She says, I had a split second, flipped my DNA, made a biological sidestep. So you're a trans lord now? What exactly does that mean? Don't know, don't care, doesn't matter. She won't be around long enough anyway. So she basically insults everyone. Then I thought we were going to get an explanation for bi-generation. That it was set up that there'd be a bi-generation explanation, that the Rani invented it. I'd heard that was going to be a rumor. Didn't happen. No explanation at all. They're both the Rani. It just was a thing they decided to do. Mrs. Flood comes in, taunts both Belinda and Ruby Sunday as their neighbor. There's a bunch of bollocks. You go to the Underverse because Omega is now a god. He's the original sin of the Time Lords. He's a big bad guy, but it's all a legend. He's just a Time Lord, and they put him in hell. So we're gonna get him out of hell. Okay, whatever. You don't know what you're doing. Who cares? Doesn't matter. Whatever. Then they have this sort of random stare down with there's a baby involved. There's a baby involved. That's right. And then it's You are disgusting. You are cattle. You will not touch my child. Belinda Chandra is a mother. She is behaving like a mother. As in, I don't give a fuck about your trans ideology. I don't give a fuck about your genetic plans for the future of the Time Lord species. You will not interfere with the existence of my daughter. And big respect for a mother. For Belinda Chandra, never thought I'd say it, being a fucking mum. Shout out to all mums everywhere. Anyway, there's a bit of a stare down, then there's a point down with the Sonics and stuff like that. I'm trying to find it. It's gone. Where? Oh, there it was. There was on screen for a second there. Wow, derp face. I don't know where it is. It's around here somewhere. They point Sonics at each other, and the Doctor pretends like his blew up or something, and she laughs, and she says, "Come and join me, Doctor! Ha ha ha!" Then they fake the excitation of the atoms of Unit Tower, whatever that means, and that makes the bone beasts attack them. So now they're at war. They've decided, and then suddenly there's a helm, by the way, at the helm. As I keep calling it the helm of Unit, there is now an actual helm at the helm of Unit Tower. So they're now basically a stationary battleship. They're going to go down to floor -10 because there's a room outside of space and time there where Belinda Chandra and Baby can hide in case reality cracks, the wish gets undone, which is the goal, obviously. They want to keep this one piece. In the meantime, yeah, so we're at all-out war, basically, between Unit and there's lots of lasers and shit. It's not bad looking, I guess. But it's trash, you know. And she goes into the zero room of time and space and hides in there. Basically, it's like, you know what, if nothing happens and you never come out, it will just be you and her in there forever. And she's like, you know what, that's fine. Let's do it. Once again, some strong mother energy there. You love to see it. Be a mom, even if you have to do it in one room forever where neither of you'll ever starve or age. Sounds like hell. Sounds like limbo. And it is. But the fact that she says, I don't give a shit. At least I'm here with my child. Respect to women who are mothers everywhere. Anyway, it's a bunch of other rap. I mean, it's all like, you know, ham acted. The problem with this show that I should have mentioned in the bad portion is the fact that for all the heart that's in this episode, it's very, very hammy. And of course, makes no sense whatsoever. I mean, all of this is happening in a pocket dimension of reality that doesn't really happen whatsoever. And yet it happens and doesn't happen. And then there's just a whole bunch of pointless bombastic shit. They have a transmat, which is a thing. Ruby's got it. She can only press the blue button. But first, the Doctor has to get into Unit. Not Unit. It has to get into the bone structure, which obviously is where the TARDIS is. Conrad became a radical, violent man because his father wasn't around. Wasn't he supposed to be a conservative and not a radical liberal leftist? Well, that's the point I made in Lucky Day. He behaves like a radical liberal leftist for the alt-right, which again just further proves to you time and time again that the left have no fucking concept of reality because they can't identify themselves as the thing that they think that they're rebelling against. So yeah, Fanny, for 50 Swedish. Thank you. Let's never forget that. So anyway, I knew this was going to happen from the start. It turns out the Doctor, when he used his Sonic against the Rani's Sonic, all he did was copy her code, which allows him to summon her little flying moped thing to him. Because I said to my dad, I was like, I knew it the second that we saw her flying on that. At some point, we're going to see the Doctor flying on that. Because there's no way RTD is not going to happen. And yes, you're right. Ruby has got a terrible wig in this episode. There is no way that is her fucking hair. I don't know what she's done to her real hair, but that's not it. It looks appalling. Somehow she looks more shiny-faced than ever. She looks like she's got a permanent hangover in this series and they're trying to overcompensate for it. She doesn't look as good as she did last year. Certainly not. But then Millie Gibson is a chav and a stop-out. And you can find that out by Googling her yourself. Anyway, everything goes tits up. Meanwhile, the Doctor decides he's going to go for a little fly. Yeah, we're going to go flying. And at this point, I was like, well, you know what? Actually, Russell T Davies is pulling off all this stuff. We've got a real world scenario playing out as opposed to the dusting of the entire universe. And let's wander around some places that shouldn't exist. And, you know, last time didn't make sense. At least this one is diegetically possible with the plot they've set up, I guess. So you get these shots of the Doctor flying around London on this little hover thingy, fucking whatever, doesn't matter anyway. Then you get this like long shot. I'm trying to find now. It's right before that, but I'm not gonna get. Yeah, there. You get like 5 seconds of them just standing there. Well, nothing happens at all. By the way, why are the walls spiky? Are we supposed to read that this is an Iron Maiden? Don't know what they're trying to say there. The messaging in this episode is all over the place. Fortunately, we've managed to get past the extremely woke part. So he's flying along and, yeah, he's going to crash into Bone Tower and everything will be fine soon. And then, oh, now that he's managed to smash the threshold by interrupting the clock's beam to the Rassilon symbol on the wall, basically, Ruby Sunday manages to transmat straight into the room with Comrade Clark, who's pointing a gun at her already, like he wasn't ready for her. Doctor crashes on the ground. Then we get this hilarious little speech about how he doesn't have weapons, but he has this, what does he have? Mimosa-scented platitudes about the power of love, lachrymose little tug the heartstrings, blah, 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 blah. Aren't you tempted, Doctor, to try it to start again? And he says yes. So for the next 5 minutes or so, he'll be working with them. The Time Lords of Omega were tyrants and murderers. Yeah, we can do it differently. We can do it better. We can... You're a Lord of Time and Space, now act like it. This is the bit I'm saying is like... A bit like Last of the Time Lords. Vindicator's still on the wall, by the way. Vindicator here is still on the wall. And I'd just like to remind you at this point that the Vindicator has done what in this entire series? Triangulated the timey-wimey location of Earth on May the 24th. Okay. Doesn't seem like it has that much power, right? Anyway, it doesn't matter. Ronnie and Ronnie are here. Oh, by the way, you do get a 2 Ronnies joke in here. It's not bad, actually. I would have made it. I have made it myself. I made it before they did. Anyway, so they changed the Rassilon symbol to the symbol of Omega's prison or whatever it is that's fucking happening here. They get the there's a double heartbeat. You can see the symbol on the thing that I'm browsing through. That's what they changed it to. Everyone that was previously counting the level of synchronization between the fake reality and everything, they're now going Omega, 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 Omega. Okay. It turns out that the only reason that they created this fake reality, by the way, is because it will create friction with the real world. Now, you know how the last episode they were trying to absolutely police anyone who had a moment of doubt? Apparently, doubt is what they want, which was a problem of the last episode too, but now it's actually completely crucial to the Rani's plan. She has to have friction so that the reality wall can get thinner and thinner until it snaps, revealing the underverse, which they have now found. And so Omega is about to arrive. Meanwhile, Ruby is telling Conrad Clark here, you know, a bunch of womanly stuff, like, hey, I made you smile. That shit was real. What are you doing? Why are you telling me this? Like, what are you doing? Yes, MagesGuild, I do for $2. Remember when you said the clock is stupid. And make sure you're awake in 2 hours, by the way, because we'll be going live again. And we'll have a lot more time. So, okay. So what do you think? Oh, well, I've ruined it now. What do you think Omega looks like? Do you think he looks like, you know, Omega? The Omega that was supposed to be what Omega looked like before? Omega, the Time Lord? With his big helmet and stuff. You know, Omega. As you remember him. As he was. With his staff and his pointy helmet, looking like a fucking renegade Dwemer from the Elder Scrolls universe or something. Let's get him on screen for a second. Just for you guys. Here we go. Here's Omega. Okay, there's Omega. That's what he looked like. But apparently, timey-wimey bullshit and stuff notwithstanding, you can become the thing your legend says you are in the Underverse, because the Underverse is a world of legends. So he emerges as the actual Mad God, the actual Titan, the actual beast, the thing that is far too much for the Rani. Ethan Manson for £2 says nothing. What a Chad. Thank you very much. Doctor tries to warn Rani, but here comes Omega, and he's a giant, dusty, skeletal beast monster. Whoa! Too big to get through the porthole. He says, I'm the god of time now, and I'm going to feast on Time Lords, which he does immediately as he decides to pick up the Rani. And now, guys, I was fully thinking, seriously, I was thinking, at some point, the Rani, the Mrs. Flood Rani, is gonna fucking execute the Archie Punjabi Rani, because she's been a complete bitch to her the entire time. But no, she gets fully fucking eaten by Omega, and that's enough. Literally, he just eats her. She's gone. That's one. Is it about this time? Is it then, or is it in a second? At this point, also simultaneously, Ruby Sunday. Why is it not on screen when I'm clicking on it? Oh yeah, he introduces her to the Rani. The Rani picks up the time ring and says, "So much for the two Ranis. It's a good night from me." And then uses the time ring. That is how the Rani found the Doctor in the first place, to escape. So that's two. Both the Ranis are now out, and we are at, look at the timeline. You can't look at the timeline. Hang on. Let me, right. Look at this timeline. We are here. We're only here in the whole fucking episode. Ethan Manson for £2 says that basically they've done a Sutek last season. Yeah. Yeah, a big beastie monster that does nothing. That's right. Yep, exactly. So again, look at where we are, and both the Ranis are fucking felted already. So she disappears, and then he asks, "What's your intent?" He says, "Oh, I'm going to become the god of time. I'm going to eat the Time Lords." He says, "Oh, if only," just like he said in the, song contest episode. He says, well, hello to you, UP Shut for €5. Says, need to watch later you, not the show. At least now we can tell the Doctor to fuck himself. Yeah, we can, baby. Yeah! Yeah, we can. Says it was weird enough with Missy and the Master. Yeah, it's pretty weird. It's over. We're done. Finally. For €5. And by the way, that's gold.
Money, print money, cash, money, well, capitalism, raise a bunch of money, more money, heaps and heaps of money, print money, cash, money, well, capitalism, raise a bunch of money, super chat money.
As salty as the sea, calling us no-code names, SJW screaming, but it's money they blame, burning with envy, they're falling flat, they can't handle the sound of a super.
So yeah, here come the drums. Very good. Anyway, so basically the Doctor realizes that the Vindicator that's right behind him is the perfect weapon suddenly, somehow, for no reason, to felt the original Time Lord, who has now become a literal god, another literal god, a different type of god, not a pantheon god. He says, the power of 1 billion supernovas. The power of 1 billion supernovas. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the power of 1 billion supernovas. Okay? Now, you might be thinking, that kind of power, by the power of Gay Skull, yes, indeed, PTD, well done. I'm going to use that later. You might be thinking the power of 1 billion supernovas would probably be enough to blast the Doctor into Alpha Centauri. But actually, it turns out there's really... Wait for it. There is literally no recoil whatsoever. No recoil from the power of 1 billion supernovas. Cuckoo! Hello! Are you there now? Can you hear me? I have a risk-free power of 1 billion suns! And you know what? In a matter of, like, seconds, he's basically dusted... Well, we'll get to it. He's basically dusted Omega, so that would be 3, but we'll get to it in a second. Meanwhile, Ruby Sunday uses the transmat, somehow an expert in it already. Funny how she managed that. To teleport across the room and swipe up the baby. So this is the first, well, the second of 2 women in this show. 2 companions of the Doctor to take on a temporary maternal role. She kisses the baby and wishes for Conrad to be free. And I've missed it, but there was a whole statement in there about how you never talked about your father. Ooh, Conrad Clark, you didn't have a father. How did you become conservative without a father? Fucking bullshit, right? So she kisses the baby and she wishes for him to be happy. Which I think, I'm not sure, it's never really explained, but by the end of all of this, we'll have 2 realities left. It's a matter of seconds until that happens, by the way. Goodbye, goodbye. He's screaming. He's acting like it's really strenuous, but there's no recoil from the power of 1 billion supernovas. I have the flower. You know, it's ridiculous. But that is actually it. Literally, that's it. And you get that stupid thing that happens in TV shows all the time, where he forces the beast back into the hole and the door just closes by itself. No. I'm not going to come down on Doctor Who too hard for that. It happens all the time in every show. But anyway, she's left with the baby. Conrad disappears when she wishes for him to be happy. He goes off and becomes like a chef somewhere or something. I can't think what it was. Anyway, as reality is now fucking felted because the Rani is gone, Mrs. Flood is gone, Omega is gone, and fucking Conrad Clark is gone in the space of like 2 minutes. Literally 2 minutes. And all the villains are gone. As is always the case, I'm much not... Oh, yeah, I'm going to have to listen to that noise like 5 times. Because Randall Hess has just gifted 5 GRIFT Force memberships. You lucky people. Good for you. We need more members around here. I know the bar doesn't fill up for memberships, but I try to keep track of them and add as much as I can to the bar in their stead. But anyway, thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. But yeah, so basically all the villains are gone. They're gone. We're barely over the halfway line of this episode, and there is no more threat. Now, you may suddenly realize that we are in for a slog. Which is why I'm going to make my time valuable and get on with it. So, yeah, reality is restored. They're in the TARDIS. The baby no longer has any powers. The Doctor gives him a kiss and blows a wish and says, hey, no more wishes. So he's destroyed the ability to make any more wishes. Depowered the baby. The god is no more. Great. Then they go back and they get Ruby, Belinda and... what's her name? Poppy from the room of spirit in time, the hyperbolic time chamber. Zanzoltan for 10 Will of the Fans memberships. I only wish that I had a clip on this version of the stream to play for you, but I don't. Unfortunately, Much love, though, and mad respect. Thank you so much. Genuinely appreciate that. And now I'm going to try and talk as the Sonic the Hedgehog jingle plays like 6 more times in my ear while I'm talking. But that's my problem, not yours. Anyway, they make it out. For a brief second, they make it look like she didn't survive, but then it turns out she did. And the doctor's so happy to see her, because, of course, she is his daughter. And from this point on, the whole thing will become about that. Now, there is a bit of cleverness that happens here. A little bit of cleverness that happens with reality, and I don't actually mind it too much. It's probably the best part of the episode, actually, where they drop off baby Disirisius to of course the most capable parents in the world. You know, those ones that keep selling their baby down the river in Ruby Sunday. They've routinely, in every possible reality that we've experienced, this fucking fat bitch, the mother. What's it that Bolstrek calls her? I'm just doing it for the money, mummy. She has sold Ruby Sunday out at least twice in the run of these last 2 series in other realities. So, yeah, great. Leave the god baby with her, where they call him Joseph. Aw, that's nice. There's paperwork, but the doctor has a Deus Ex Machina for that. He's got an app for that. He says he's going to use his Sonic, which he has by this point, to do all the paperwork for them somehow. By the way, Gatwa, can you lend me that thing? Because I got to tell you, paperwork in the Philippines is a son of a bitch. It takes a year. Like, literally, I don't even have my daughter's birth certificate yet. My second's about to be born. Anyway, by the way, Ethan Manson, you fucking legend, has joined the reactionaire level of the Grift Force. Attaboy. And, yeah, so here we are. And Poppy is now in a crib in the TARDIS. And it's all very nice. And Belinda's having a lovely time. And Ruby's there. And they're gonna... And it gets a bit hot. And the doctor says that's the TARDIS accommodating. Yeah, it's trying to make it warmer in here for the child, you know, because a baby who's, you know, at least 18 months old, like that baby there, cannot regulate her own body temperature, apparently, which is bullshit. A 6-month-old can regulate her own body temperature. Probably earlier than that. I don't know how he does it with a screwdriver, Cyber Leader Andy. I haven't got a fucking clue. No one knows. This is a mess of Deus Ex Machina from here to the end. So anyway, he says to Ruby Roo, apparently, we're going to have a great time. We're going to go all this place. So he takes Belinda. He's like, oh, we can do all this stuff. And now Belinda, you might have noticed it's been a few episodes now. 1 second. I'm going to shower now. And this one. She has been, you know, at the beginning she was holding fast to the idea that you need to take me home, Doctor. Get me the fuck home. Right? And that's great. She's got to be home 7:30 a.m. May 24th. But now, suddenly, as it's become increasingly more and more likely as the show has gone on, she's stopped talking about that. And now she's finally fully formed and ready to go and be the assistant. And there's an interesting thing here. Now, this is one of the only clever things in the episode, I would say. And I actually like this. I like this unironically. They took the coat, right? A coat. A big-ass fucking warm coat off a baby. And as they continue to talk to each other, each time they take it and they fold it for each other. And then they hand it back so they can take it and they fold it. And they keep folding it and folding it and folding it until it's basically just a scrap of cloth. And now she's like, oh yeah, let's go adventuring. Let's go have some fun. Let's go have some more fun. We're going to go to Neptune. We're going to go have all this fun. And then finally Gat was like this with the cloak. But the whole time Ruby's been watching them. She's aware. And she remembers that 10 seconds ago, there was a baby in this TARDIS. There's no baby anymore. And they're talking about it like, oh, we're going to go off and be whimsical together. And she's like, don't you have a baby? And they're like, no, you're wrong. That's a different one. That's the one from Space Babies. Don't you remember? Your memory must have got scrambled. It's a reality thing. Don't worry, we're going to sod off now. They go back. Everyone's clapping, celebrating, having a great time. Anita's off duty. She she's welcome to stay. So they let her stay for a little while, although she is now the manager. And Ruby is not happy. Ruby's not happy at all because there is a child that they had that is gone. And to be fair, that's actually, you know, manipulative as fuck, but it kind of worked on me. I was like, Ruby, what the fuck, man? Don't let them forget that shit. So eventually she manages, they do all these checks, by the way, all this stuff looking for a person called Poppy who exists, and there's no such person. Susan Twist can't remember who the fuck she is. No one can remember Poppy. But Belinda is extreme, and they say there's going to be some glitches. For some reason, Ernest Borgnine has survived in this reality where he didn't before. So there's some weird glitches that are happening as two realities join back together. But there are still two realities. The teal is the wrong shade of blue. It's fucking nonsense, crap, garbage, Marvel sort of writing. It's garbage, it's guff, it's trash, it's shite, right? Anyway, she brings up the fact that the doctor saved her from a false reality when the goblin thing happened, and she did the same thing for Belinda Chandra. It turns out the doctor was the one who saved her as a child. That actress looks nothing like Belinda Chandra. He has gone into alternate realities, gone through people's timelines before to find them. And in the process of this 1 minute sequence, he completely changes his mind and decides, yes, I have a daughter, apparently, and I'm going to go wreck my life, my universe, and everything. We can stop it, Doctor. We can help you, Doctor. No, there's only one thing that can help bring two realities back together, and that's the last of the Time Lords. So he goes in there, fully willing to sacrifice himself. He says, "Aw, but I really like this face." And that's right. He doesn't actually get beaten by anyone. He decides to start his own regeneration, but not before, ladies and gentlemen, reintroducing, it's Dr. Karen. She's back. That's right. She's back. She's back. It's the worst doctor ever. Probably even worse than Gatwa, to be honest, in terms of actual acting ability when it comes to playing the doctor. She has not got anything new about her except many more lines on her face than she used to have. She has aged horribly in 5 years or whatever it's been. Not even that. 3 years since she stopped being the doctor. She is looking old. The two of them jerk each other off for a little while. Oh, I was never going to stop you. They have a hug, and I'm thinking to myself, you, the two of you, the unholy duology. You know what? It's Matt the Silent Wee Music King. I am very open to you feeling that Whittaker was better. I don't know which one really is worse. It's just that I think that Ncuti Gatwa is actually probably better at playing the Doctor. I never thought for a fucking second that Whittaker was the Doctor. Gatwa's giving me glimmers of it, just teensy tiny glimmers, but unfortunately it's like a big pile of grey sludge with Whittaker, and then you've got nauseating polarity with Ncuti Gatwa, where he is the Doctor and then he is the anti-Doctor in the very next scene. So 6 of one, half dozen of the other, I guess, mate. They're both fucking terrible, and they can both get wrecked for all I give a shit. There's a whole bunch of trash. They talk nonsense about, you're gonna regenerate, wait, buy generated, wait, you haven't heard about that yet, forget about it, doesn't matter, don't worry, it's in your future, fuck it, whatever. Heroic music plays, and then he tells her that he loves her. He goes, I love you, Doctor. She turns around, she goes, well, I don't usually say that kind of stuff. He goes, that's why you needed me. Oh, that's right. Brighton Pride. We're going down to Brighton. That's right. And she says, maybe I should tell that to Yaz. Because, she's a dyke. And he goes, you never will. You never will. You're never gonna tell Yaz that you love her. Never gonna happen. She looks a bit sad. He says, but don't worry, she knows. And I can... Oh, man, I don't have the clip. I don't have the clip ready. I wish I had the clip. Can I get the clip ready in time? Let's see. Can I get the clip ready? Maybe I can. We'll see. Hold on. Yeah, I can do it with this. I think I can do it with this. If I just have a second. Do I have a second? No. Yeah, here we go. All right, I can play the clip. Okay, hold on. And we'll get back to it. Here we go. Get out of studio mode. And I can play for you the collective sigh of relief, the collective passion we've all had for hearing about the final epilogue of the lesbian love story between the 13th Doctor and yeah, sorry, it didn't full screen. I didn't know it was what it was going to do, so it was last minute. Funny. Anyway, I don't care. They don't care, so why should I? Anyway, yeah, I know it's shrill. I know. But it's not loud. I muted the master volume by like 7 decibels. So don't believe your lying ears. You're not being deafened. It's just that it peaked in the original recording. Relax. You're fine. Trust me. I know what I'm doing. Anyway, so here we are with Gurning Gatwa here. By the way, I'm totally taking that for a later occasion. And I'm going to screenshot that right about now. Just hold on a second. Gurning Gatwa. Saved. Thank you. And yeah, so we proceed here. And now he finally manages to literally punch himself in the chest and rip out a regeneration. I mean, do you remember Regeneration when it used to be like this involuntary, you know, I'm about to die, last ditch thing? Or even before that, when it could be pulled out of you by the Time Lords, you know, it was forced upon you against your will. At no point has the Doctor ever shown any sign of being able to tap into that regeneration energy, except for Gatwa. He's done it twice. So he can pull out the raw power of the Time Lords to regenerate and beam it into the TARDIS console, which he does, and blows it to Kingdom Come. Thus, you know, opening the heart of the TARDIS. I know where you're going with this, and you're right. Then, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, we have it. We finally have it. The moment you've all been waiting for. Ncuti Gatwa touches grass. Yeah! He had to touch some grass before he went. So anyway, he walks into this little rinky-dink house. Well, it's not rinky-dink. It's quite nice, actually. It turns out that Belinda lives there. I'm taking that one as well. I'm having this one. You better believe I'm having this one for another later occasion. Gurning Belinda. We'll have that as well. Thank you. That'll do for WTF or Who TF Cares later. Thank you. She's got this lovely big house, and it turns out that this entire time she was the mother of a little girl called Poppy. Not sarcastic enough. Okay, sorry. There you go. So it turns out that her father is actually some man who knocked up Belinda Chandra, and it turns out that for some reason the Doctor's forgotten, and we've never been privy to, the fact that she has constantly been reminding him this whole time that the reason she wanted him to take her home so badly, reminding him time and time again. We get some disco scene and some stuff that wasn't in the episodes. All the time she keeps telling him about her little girl Poppy, who somehow ends up as a space baby. Never gonna get an answer to that then. So no, it turns out that there's a father, and she was trying to get home for her daughter. And that's it. She actually is a mother. Good for her. Single mom, mind you, but hey, you know, father was clearly black, so well, make of that what you will. Introduces him finally to her mother. Mother's got a concert in Manchester, which is why Belinda needed to come home from her nursing accommodation to be there to be with her daughter so her mum can go off and play a concert. Nothing more complicated than that. I am a Truvian. Thank you. I'm the one who invented the word. So thank you very much. Yeah, so basically, then you get this actually kind of sad moment where she says, "This is Uncle Doctor." And he remembers that actually, okay, right, this kid is not mine. And there's a part of him that's like, really sad. And I'm not going to lie, like, this is a me thing. This isn't a general thing. There's a part of him that is genuinely sad as he checks her and proves that she is in fact 100% human. She was never his daughter. So all that crap about it turning out that Susan is her daughter or something, never in it. Nothing. Bullshit. But one rumour did come true as he buggers off back into the TARDIS, and we don't give a fuck about all this nonsense. There's a whole bunch of platitudes and bullshit. The exact kind of crap that the Ronnie was talking about earlier on. You know, it hits you in the feels when you're watching it, but when you're back in Lucidityville, you're like, yeah, fuck all this noise. So he decides that, considering he's completely alone, he's going to open the door and he's going to visit Joy to the World, the star from the last Christmas special, who is, of course, out there burning all the time. From Bethlehem to buggering knows where. And he regenerates, finally. And I'm not going to lie to you guys. My reaction was, yeah! Yeah! As this happened. Not gonna lie. Punch in the air, cheering to the heavens. Bye bye Gatwa. Na 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 na, na 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 na. Hey hey hey, fuck you. And then of course it all gets spoiled. Because he regenerates. Oh fucking hell, it goes on forever, doesn't it? He regenerates into Billy Piper, who looks straight at the camera and says, "Oh, hello." And quite frankly, this is a pure manipulation. This is a pure manipulation. This is the final gambit of Russell T. Davies. The final gambit. What do we do to felt the fans who loved Rose Tyler? What do we do to felt the fans who appreciated the original RTD run? What do we do as a final fuck you? We cast the next Doctor as someone that they will have to turn on to be able to continue shitting on the show. Miss Piper, I want you to know that if for any reason you do end up playing the Doctor, it's nothing personal, okay? Honestly, it's nothing personal. But we are at war. I have a lot of like and love for Billy Piper. And I would probably still Piper. Yes. But frankly, if this is what we're going to do, it's all's fair, you know, love. Look, nothing personal, but fuck your Doctor and fuck this show. Now, there is one last thing that needs to be addressed. No, don't try to do that to me, Disney, you fucking useless platform of piss. Okay, we get it. Oh my god, what is it? What is with this fucking platform? Why do they have to do this shit? I'm gonna have to watch the whole bloody thing, aren't I? Fine, let's watch it then. I bet I'll be the only channel that gets copyrighted for playing this clip. You watch. The BBC fucking hate me. Feelings mutual, bud. I used to work for them for a little while. So we get Ncuti Gatwa as the Doctor. Jodie Whittaker as the Doctor. Now, what you normally get, you probably know already, but what you normally get is, and introducing XYZ as the Doctor. What does this mean? And on that bombshell, I'm afraid I'm going to have to leave because it's been an hour and 20 and I have got another stream in an hour and a half. So I'll see you on that one. So we're going to have to hastily exit. It is up to you what you think. I think this is a way out. This is a way out. Technically, and I will get right to you, Ethan, thank you very much. Technically, you've got a Tenant Doctor and a Piper Doctor in the same reality. Because someone said to me earlier on, like, didn't the realities mesh? Maybe he was erased. I see no evidence of that whatsoever. Oh yeah, I have to eat dinner. Thank you, DramaticaLaur, for reminding me. I have to make a thumbnail though first. I'll get to that as soon as possible. So here you go. I'm going to leave you with this, and I will be back with the boys in an hour and a half. So there you go. In the meantime, Ethan Manson for £20. 20 quid. Bruv, you stick around. How in 2025 does the regeneration energy look shite and Billy make no sense in being the Doctor? It's just like he thinks, ratings are shite, so we're going to use nostalgia again and absolutely ruin a legendary character. Exactly. Yeah, that's on the surface, that's what it is. If you look beneath that, this is a way out. It's a way out. If you stop right here, it's like Goku flying off with little oob into an uncertain future. You can end it right there, and the adventures may go on forever. Your headcanon and mine can be what they will be. This is the absolute get out clause. Bring it back, you risk fucking it all up. It's all fucked already. It's dead. The show is dead. But at least you can say, this is the way out. But yeah, it's nostalgia bait. They're trying to give people a reason to go, we want more. We've got to see what Dr. Billy Piper's like. Oh, I want to know what Dr. Rose is like. Nah. Fuck that, man. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. I'm tired, buddy. I don't care. Let it go. Let it die. Let it die like this. Good enough. Draw the line. Fucking recollect yourselves. Give it a few more years as culture begins to recover a bit more and more every day. Come back when you've got some good ideas and some new people in charge. No more Fitzroy cunts. Had enough. Had enough RTD. Had enough Stephen Moffat, frankly. And Chris Chibnall, never, ever again. Done. Out. Bye-bye. So long, and thanks for all the pish. There it is. Right. That is it, guys. I'm drawing the line. I'm out, and I'll see you in an hour and a half. Big love. Wish I had time for an outro, but I don't. So I will catch you on the next one. Thank you so much to everyone for watching this. Thank you so much to everybody for super chatting. Ethan, UP Shoot, MagesGuild, and Fanny. Appreciate you. And Claire Pruden as well. Thank you, guys. A hell of a lot in a very short time. Thank you. I'll see you in an hour and a half.